Welcome back, Shalligators. Well, today we're talking about a couple that might not be together anymore, but we are getting some insight into their dynamic. And we're going to talk about what we can learn from it. CODY Simpson and MILEY CYRUS. CODY Simpson. He's Australian. I just love him. CODY Simpson. Simpson. I just love him. I love the accent. I love it all. So CODY has opened up recently in an interview with GQ magazine and called his relationship with MILEY a phase. Ooh, that's not a compliment. But when we think about MILEY, or at least when I was thinking about MILEY for this video, I'm like, you know, I feel like a lot of guys view her that way. Like a phase, she's like so wild and intense that she's almost just like a layover to something else. And in many ways, like, guys treat us like that all the time. Like our pain is sort of collateral damage for their journey of self-discovery. But for some girls, that seems to be their entire brand. Girls like MILEY, who just seem like a lot. So I asked you guys, what do you think the topic is here? And overwhelmingly you said, how not to be a phase. How to go from the booty call, the good time girl, the wild child, the party chick, into a girl that a guy is going to view as a potential girlfriend. You know, they say you can't turn a hoe into a housewife. Well, can't you? Maybe you can. If we feel like we're the hoe, how can we rebrand ourselves as the housewife? How can we get people to see us as more than just a booty call or a good time? I've got some concrete tips that are going to take you from one thing to the next, easier than you think, without having to completely remake yourself, without having to apologize for your past, and going to tell you how to get a guy to view you in the light that you now want to be seen in. But before we get started, just want to remind you to join me in Mexico on our trip with Trend 45. We have a Shalligator getaway to Tulum, June 11th through the 17th. We're actually going a second week in June, but it's sold out. But there's a few spaces left on this June 11th trip. So hit the link in the bio to learn more. It's going to be so much fun. You can hang out with me. Also, we just need to pause for a second for a few words from today's sponsor. Hey there, Shalligators. Over the last year, I have gotten really serious about security. I mean, not just like out here in Montana with my own like arsenal, but definitely cybersecurity, because honestly, people can do so much more damage with the information we send and receive over the internet than getting into our house and taking all our things. I mean, what are you gonna take this couch? Honey, have it. So to keep my data safe, I use a VPN, and I don't just choose any VPN because I've used a lot of them actually. I go with Surfshark. Surfshark changes your IP address in such an easy way. All you do is literally boop, push a button, and you're a ghost on the internet. If you think about it, which would you say was the safer way to travel? Like via a bicycle or in an armored car? A VPN is an armored car for your information. But it also has some really fun uses by setting the VPN's location to someplace where you actually aren't. So you could choose, say, London as your location, and suddenly you get access to all of like the British things on Netflix because you know that they're different. Yeah. So if you want to secure your data, go ahead and use my promo code Shallon for 83% off and 3 extra months for free. So head to the link in my description and start securing your data right this minute. Okie dokie, let's talk MILEY and CODY. So CODY opened up to GQ magazine. He's talking mostly about his aspirations to be on the Australian Olympic swim team. Did you know that? Right? Like, he's a surfer. He's a huge surfer, and his music is amazing if you're about to go surfing. Like Pretty Brown Eyes and La-Di-Da, like I love his stuff because I was in like a big like surf phase a few years ago. I am very bad. I would never call myself a surfer, but I love to surf. Poorly, so poorly. But his music is just like great beachy music. And I've always heard really good things about him from like an interview standpoint, because, you know, I worked in media and magazines, and people either would interview him or like met him through Gigi Hadid, who he dated for a long time. And everyone's like, he's really nice. He's just really chill. He's just a sweet kid. Like, he's just a chill ass Australian. Simpson. I love it. And when we think of someone who's really chill, do we think of MILEY CYRUS? MILEY is one of those people who's like faux chill. She's like aggressively chill. Like, I'm just so chill. Do you guys know how chill I am? All I do is chill. I fucking chill. Like, she's one of those, you're like, who brought her to this party? Why is she here? And any chillness she has, I believe, is like completely drug fueled. She just seems like a lot. Like a lot. Very nice. Like she doesn't seem like a mean, hateful, bad person. She just seems like, woo, this can be a lot. And so he talked a bit about their dynamic. And he's like, you know, she wasn't exactly a role model, but she was a very hyper creative person. And that was, you know, enticing for him as a fellow creative, you know, and certainly they're both in this music industry and that can be very lonely and isolating. And he's like, we knew each other for a long time and then we had a lot of the same friends. We started hanging out and we ended up being together for a while. You know what I hear in that? Do you know what I hear? Do you hear what I hear? I hear the passive reciprocation loop. What is the passive reciprocation loop? I talk about this a lot. It's a name I have given to basically what happens when we chase guys. You know, when we're the ones swiping, texting, messaging, making the plans, going near where they live so it's more convenient for them around their schedule. We're following up. We're inviting them over. Guys will take the bait. They'll respond. They'll come over. They'll fuck you. But that's not the same as courtship, right? That's not pursuit. That's passive reciprocation. It's whatever. Here, I'm here. And I think a lot of people get into those like chillationships, I call them. You know, we have situationships where we don't know what's going on, but like a chillationship. I don't know. We just kind of chill and, oh, she's still here. And yeah, this is chill. I'm not a chill person. I'm not. I'm a New Yorker. I'm a YouTuber. I'm low key in real life. I am. I'm much more low key certainly than I seem here. But I'm not like that's chill. I'll just cruise over. No, baby boy. You want to see me or take me on a date. I don't care if it's to Applebee's. It's going to be intentional. It's going to be respectful. I don't get into a chillationship. No thanks. But what Cody describes with their relationship, that's kind of how it seems. And weren't they like in quarantine together? I feel like it's like whoever woke up in the bed next to you on like March 11th, 2020, you just locked the door. It's like, well, we're together now. Fuck, man. It's weird. But then he goes on to describe their relationship as a phase. It's just one of those phases you go through. It's just one of those phases you go through. It's just one of those phases you go through. That's better. I don't know about you, man, but whenever I've described a phase that I was going through, it was not a complimentary. It's like I went through my phase of only eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and I gained 11 pounds. I went through my phase of saying, believe it, after every sentence. That's not good. I went through my phase of wearing orange pants and rainbow shoelaces. Do you know what I mean? When we use the term, it was a phase I was going through, we're explaining away behavior that we are currently embarrassed about, that we do not want to repeat, that we have learned from, that we needed to go through as part of growing up or whatever. But hey, just so you know, no, that was a phase. That wasn't me. That was my cutting my own baby bangs phase. Ugh, that's not me. That's not who I am. That was a phase. You don't want your ex of like almost a year or something, right? They did it like a while. It wasn't like a fling. You don't want someone describing you thusly. And yet I feel like if we were to talk to most dudes who have gotten involved with Miley Cyrus, I feel like that's pretty par for the course. She's one of those girls, like Patrick Schwarzenegger, okay, clearly would describe his situation with Miley Cyrus as a phase. She's like the embodiment of rebellion, you know? She's like a human blacklight poster. And you're just like, this is not your destination. This is a layover. How can we avoid this fate? Now, Miley is going to be a forever layover. She is. I mean, maybe she'll grow out of like some of this, but not till like 40. She's not super young. Like I always think of Miley as like 18. She's not. She's in her 20s. Like, girl, come on. She's very creative and she's very successful, but she is extremely chaotic and she's purposefully chaotic. I feel like every other time we hear from her, she's like, I'm sober. Well, I do these drugs. Well, I'm sober again and now I'm doing drugs. Like it blows my mind she hasn't decided she's non-binary. She's like one of those who it's like she's defined by her chaos increasingly more than anything she's creating. I don't know. It's like she's got 1 trillion animals. I think that's also kind of a red flag. It's like she has to have this element of noise, this element of noise around her. And that is not restful. That doesn't create a restful relationship, you know? The number one thing a guy wants out of a girlfriend, do you know what it is? It's not blowjobs. It's not she's the hottest. It's not she's the richest. No. It's someone who's easy to be around. She's easy to be around, you know? She's not nagging. She's not starting fights. Now, it's easy to interpret easy to be around as a woman who's spineless. Oh, she just goes with whatever. She's the cool girl. You know, I have to do the chest bump. You know I have to. No. I am not that way. But my boyfriends say you are easy to be around. You know why? Because I always know how you feel. I know if you want to eat there or there. I know if you're mad and what you're mad about. I know what you require. I know what's required of me. And they're like, that feels good. Because it weeds out the guys who are like, well, I don't want that. Great, bye. Like, that's fine. But if you're with me, the parameters are very clearly defined. And so there's an ease. No one likes that kind of chaos for very long. I don't know what she wants. I don't know what she's thinking. I don't know if she's mad, if she's happy. I love you. Do you want sex? What do you want? That gets really, really tiring. And the people who are like that, they're chaotic in and of themselves. Like, I date younger guys, right? And they always say to me, they're like, young girls my age, like girls who are 24, 25, they're just like, and all my friends, like when we describe ourselves at that age, for some reason, every woman I know does the same gesture. I was just like, because it's true. I was like a waggy monster with no face. Like, who was I? And that, because I didn't know who I was almost impossible to date. Two halves don't make a whole. And when it comes to relationships, you have to be 100-100. This is true. I am a 100% person. I'm a fully formed person. And guys like that. It's restful. Oh, thank you. Not only am I trying to figure out who I am, I was going to have to figure out who the fuck she was. That's tiring. That's a big burden. Miley seems to be in that state all the time. I mean, just look at her haircuts. Look at how many tattoos she has. Has she ever liked something or had a thought about something that didn't end up inked on her body? Buy a diary. Buy a diary. Buy a diary with the paper with no lines on it. I agree. It is hard to find a journal with no lines, but it's out there. Just Google it. Sound it out on Amazon. Figure it out. I don't know. She seems chaotic. So how do we get people to see us not as chaos, not as a layover, not as the good time girl, not the hoe, but the housewife? How do we change perception and get guys to take us seriously? Are you taking yourself seriously? Are you Hannah? Are you Caitlin? Are you Mackenzie? Are you Shallon? Until we believe our own brand, no one else is going to believe it. You know what dating is? It's sales. You boil it down, it's sales, right? Have you ever watched a commercial? Hey, buy this car. Well, I mean, I don't know. It's really bad. I mean, look at it. It's hideous. It looks like a refrigerator. It's awful. Oh, and it's like way unsafe. Would you like to buy it though? It would make me happy if you bought it. Could you buy it and then tell me why I should buy it and then maybe why other people should buy it? Have you ever heard that in a commercial? I haven't. You hear this is the greatest, this is the best, everyone wants it. Salesmen believe their hype. They believe in their product because if they don't, why would anyone else? If we don't believe that we are the girl that you take home to mom, that we are worthy of respect. No, we're not an 11 p.m. booty call. No, we're a 6 p.m. Friday night restaurant with real tablecloths and cloth napkins kind of bitch. If we don't believe that, why would anyone else? And you might be thinking, because I hear this from you guys, I just need someone to believe in me and then I can believe in myself. How's that gone? How's it going so far? Is that working? No. You know why? Because it literally doesn't work like that. Again, go back to a commercial. I just need like 10,000 of you to buy this car and then I'll believe that it's a good car to buy and I'll be a better salesperson. Huh? What? No. We've done a lot of videos on confidence here. And I always say when it comes to confidence, you got to fake it till you make it, right? And when I'm going into a new situation or a situation that's giving me anxiety or I just simply don't feel confident, I zip myself up into the suit of someone who embodies confidence in that situation, in that scenario. And I've said before, for me, it's either Paris Hilton or Kourtney Kardashian. Hear me out. Just hear me out, okay? Both of those women are unembarrassable. They're unembarrassable. They don't get, they don't apologize. They're like, yeah, this is me. You saw my sex tape. So what? That's hot. And both of them are because I'm older and I am places where people are like younger, like I'm at bars with my friends, and that like makes me anxious, and I'll like, oh my gosh, I feel out of place. And I'm like, Paris Hilton wouldn't feel out of place. Kourtney Kardashian wouldn't feel out of place. She's like, I am the View. Yeah, I'm older because I'm better. Like, you look up to me. I'm not looking up to you. Like, we're all cool here. Like, I'm the leader here. I'm the opinion leader. Daddy's arrived. And I'm like, yeah, daddy's arrived. Okay. Do I organically believe that sometimes? No. But because I can zip myself into that Kourtney suit in times of like emotional turmoil, it gives my brain a life raft. Your brain does not want to stay in that state of cognitive dissonance, which means what's happening in real life does not match how you feel or what's happening in your mind, right? I'm here at this bar. I'm supposed to be having fun, but I am freaking the fuck out because I'm like 10 years older than everyone. Oh my gosh, I'm a fucking loser. Your brain doesn't want to feel like that. Your brain's like, you're not a loser. What are you talking about? You can't tell yourself you're a loser because we spend all day telling ourselves that we're a winner. So what's going on? So if you can be like, okay, I'm not a loser. I'm Kourtney Kardashian. Your brain's like, nice, excellent. I can take this and I can run with it out of this state of cognitive dissonance. Why am I saying this? Where is all this going? I want you to have a zip up opinion leader in terms of how you want to be treated by guys. Okay? I want you to think of a celebrity, a friend, a big sister, a Shallon Lester, who's like, she wouldn't take that. She wouldn't let that happen. She wouldn't laugh at that. And I want that to be your spirit guide. If you don't know what to do in a situation, that's what you default to. What do I mean, a situation? A situation? What do you mean? Okay. One thing I've learned is that, because I used to be the good time girl. I mean, I told you when I was younger, my nickname was the mistress because guys with girlfriends always loved me. And I was like, ah, like I didn't have enough self-esteem to be like, go fuck yourself. I'm not gonna be your bitch ass side chick. I viewed it as like, oh my gosh, he likes me so much. He's willing to cheat on his girlfriend. Honey, guys, look at Tiger Woods. He cheated on his beautiful Swedish wife with like literally the grossest porn stars I've ever seen. They were missing teeth. Come on. Like, it's not flattering. I remember in an episode of The Golden Girls, Blanche's slutty niece comes to visit and she's like, honey, they don't see you as desirable. They see you as available. And that's no compliment. And I was like, Blanche, it's true. I realized that what I was permitting, I was promoting. And one thing I was permitting was jokes at my expense. Like slutty, funny joke. Oh, slutty Shallon, ha ha ha. And I'm like, ha ha ha. I would laugh then and I would cry later. I wouldn't cry, but I would get this idea that like, yeah, I'm slutty Shallon. Okay. I'm slutty Shallon. I'm fun Bobby. I'm fun Shallon. Okay. So then when a guy came along and he treated me accordingly, that didn't feel contrary. That didn't feel offensive. That felt right. That felt accurate. Yeah, no, well, of course he's going to like, pull my dress up at this bar because I'm slutty Shallon and I think it's funny. Ha ha, I'm the cool girl. It's so funny. I don't want to be like the bitchy heavy girl who's like, don't fucking do that. I'm going to turn around and smack you when you do it a second time. I literally did this to a guy a few weeks ago. And it was horrifying because it broke my heart, but like, I was proud of myself that like 24-year-old Shallon wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, ha 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 ha, that's so funny that the whole bar saw me in a thong. Yeah. No, I don't. And it ruined the night. I went home. I was crying. I was awful, but I stood up for myself. And I'm like, you know what? If that guy doesn't see me as a quality woman, that's his fault. That's his lack of quality. That's not my lack of quality. And I have just demonstrated this. Stop laughing at things that are actually insulting. What we permit, we promote. There's this bitch around town. She's like, I know you guys like it when I call Tristan Thompson the Groupon penis of Calabasas. She's a Groupon pussy of Gallatin County. Like, everyone gets a piece of her. She's such trash. And like, she will let guys like squirt ketchup all over her. She's like, ha 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 ha. And I'm like, you are a clown and a half. Like, you're a clown and a half. You're clowning yourself. Like, you're clowning yourself. You think you look cool and chill? That is the opposite of chill. A chill woman knows her standards. A chill bitch who's like, no, I'm chilling. I don't need a man. I'm fine by myself. I like my friends. I like my life. That is chill. That is an emotional chill place. Someone who's like, sure, like, come in my eyeball. I don't care. What's chill about that? Because when I was in that state, I didn't feel very chill. Not at all. I felt chaotic, desperate to be liked, desperate to have a boyfriend, desperate to be validated. Wow, what a surprise. I was allowing people in my life who was treating me that way. And it was a tough thing to grow up and set your standards, because when you set your standards, no, I'm not going to do that. No, you're not going to send me nudes. No, I don't have Snapchat. I meet guys on Tinder, they're like, do you have a Snapchat? I'm like, no. Yes, I do. But I'm like, no, I don't want to talk to you on Snap. You want to see me? You want to make sure I look like I look? Ask me out to drinks. I'm fucking great in real life, but I'm not no, that's my boundary. Those are my standards, okay? But doing that and saying that and setting those boundaries, they're scary. They're scary because the fear is, oh my God, they're going to reject me. They're going to leave. They're going to say, well, then get out. Well, then I don't want to talk to you. I'm going to unmatch you. What did we say recently? Hate is freedom. Hate is freedom. The worst case scenario is actually the best case scenario. Because I have said that to guys. I said that to guys on Tinder. Oh, do you want to like get together and fuck tonight? I was like, no, you're gross. Don't ever speak to me that way. Don't talk to me that way. Don't grab me that way. Don't text me that way. No. And it's not about being bitchy. It's like, these are my standards. I'm communicating them to you with the exact same aggressiveness you're bringing to me. You want to talk to me like a gentleman? I'll talk to you like a lady. But that's not how you approach it. So that's not what you're getting. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. But when that happens, when these people like do reject me, they unmatch me, fine, they delete me, I don't feel like, oh my God, I knew it. I mean, it stings a minute, but you're like, thank God I smoked someone like that out. Thank God. Thank God. Because what do we say about boundaries? The people who hate your boundaries are the ones who benefit from you having none at all. The people who hate your standards, the people who hate your self-esteem and your self-image are the people who benefit from you having no standards, no self-esteem, no self-image, no goals, no schedule at all. Why do you not want to see that? Don't you want to walk in the light of that truth? Because look, the truth is the truth, whether you're walking next to it or not. The writing is on the wall. It's your funeral if you don't want to read it. And it's painful. It's painful to read it. It's disappointing. It's like humanitarily disappointing. Like, this is who they are. Yeah, this is who they are. But then you know that when you encounter someone who does adhere to your boundaries and your standards to the point that you don't have to deploy your boundaries at all, they simply act correct. You're like, this is a good person. They like my boundaries. They like my standards. I talk to you guys a lot, you guys who are virgins. It's like, oh, I'm so weird. I'm like, a quality guy is either not going to care or he's going to like that maybe you haven't like gone beyond your comfort zone and done something just to like go along with the crowd because you think that's what you should be doing. He's going to enjoy and appreciate your individuality because water seeks its same level. Alpha men love me because I'm an alpha female. They don't want to be around a beta because they're chaotic, right? They don't know who they are. That's not restful. That's not easy to be around for a healthy, quality, ambitious, upstanding alpha male. They don't like that. That's annoying. Do you like being around beta females? Having them as friends? No. Beta males? No. We want our same. The eagle doesn't hang with the pigeon. Pigeons got their own crew. Eagles mingle with eagles. And we cannot find those people if we have no standards, if we have no boundaries. So I want you to look back on scenarios with a guy. Maybe it was a guy like you started out liking and he was like liking you in the right way. And then it's like you ended up in a situationship, a booty call thing, a chillationship. Where did it go wrong? On you. Ugh, Shallon, bleh. I know. Listen, I know. This is the emotional autopsies that we talk about. And an autopsy, like a real one, is disgusting. It's horrifying and frightening and will haunt you forever. But we do autopsies to figure out what went wrong so that things don't go wrong like that again for somebody else. You know? We learn from it. That's the whole point. So when I look back at a chillationship that I had like last year, it was what I was permitting and promoting. I didn't want to stand up and ask for too much. I was new in town. I was like, well, who am I to like reject even just like company and hanging out with someone and be like, no, you need to take me on a date. And then guess what? Guess what we normalized? Not going on dates. And it can be hard to right the ship. It's not impossible. It isn't. I actually talked about this on a recent episode of the podcast. Like how to be a bitch and like stand up for yourself. And is it ever too late to kind of put your foot down? No, it isn't. But you obviously want to start on the right foot. So look back at a recent bad situationship and say, what was I doing? What did I permit that I promoted? And what could I have done differently? It's not about blaming yourself. It's not about getting mad. It's not about being cringe and just hating yourself. Listen. Those guys were not your destination. They were a layover. Maybe they were a Miley Cyrus. I bet Cody Simpson learned a ton from his situation with Miley. Okay, what are you going to learn from like Tyler or Jackson or Brent or whatever? What are you going to learn? Because it happened. I mean, it happened. So you can either look back and be like, oh, why didn't he like me? Or you can be like, all right, here's the autopsy. What did we learn? We're going to hold this up to the light and get better and not bitter. So once you figure out what those things are, maybe there's like you slept with someone too soon, or you got like you told them way too much about yourself and then they're like, oh, weirded out. I want you to make a list of your vulnerable points, right? Hey, I know that I sleep with someone too soon. Okay, well, why? Did you have too many drinks? I mean, someone's like, champagne doesn't go to my head, it goes to my vagina. It's like, so true, right? Okay, so endeavor not to have dates where all you do is sit and drink. Let's go for a hike. Let's go walk the dogs. Let's do something that alcohol is not the central point. I want you to make that war flow chart where X event, X trigger point has Y response 100 times out of 100, 100 times out of 100. Guy sends me nudes on Snapchat. What do? Come up with an answer. I say, hey, that's cool. I don't do nudes. If you want to actually hang out, fine. Here's my phone number. We're unfollowing on Snap. Don't give your Snap out in the first place. Have a plan going forward, because we get into this hoe versus housewife situation because we don't have standards and we don't have boundaries. Boundaries are a fence line. You have to build your fence. If you're like, I don't know, the fence is like maybe there, or maybe there. Where's my property line? I have no idea. Okay, sit and figure it out. Forewarned is forearmed. You need to have a plan. But what if it's not about you making these changes? What if you know you are and you're trying to, but you're trying to outpace a reputation that isn't great? Everyone knows you as the girl who pees the bed. Everyone knows that you fuck the entire lacrosse team. Like, what do you do? What do you do? Same, girl. Same. You live contrary to this. You live contrary to whatever the reputation is. And that starts right in here. One of my good guy friends is trying to undo his reputation. I mean, he was a fuckboy. He had issues with drugs and alcohol. I mean, it was not great. It was not great. And when he encounters people from his past who still view him like that, it like wrecks him. It wrecks him because he's like, I'm trying so hard to remake myself and grow and learn. I'm like, okay, then fuck people who think that about you. Fuck them. They don't know you. And people, again, the boundaries, the standards, the people who don't like them, they benefited from you having none. And that is true of change. The people who hate your growth benefited from you not growing at all. Well, why would they benefit from thinking I'm a slut? Because people like to compartmentalize. You know, it's easy to just be like, well, she's a slut, she's the prude, she's the good girl, she's the nerd, she's the fatty. Like, guys are dumb. They're very black and white, and they're excellent in compartmentalization. It's literally the only thing they're good at besides like putting together IKEA dressers. I can't think of anything else. So it's easy for people to categorize because then they just get to move on. They get to treat you a certain way. It doesn't require much brain power. And look, if you're in an environment where you cannot leave, I get it. You're in school, I get it. But when you rebrand internally, first of all, like we said earlier, you're going to weed out those people who don't subscribe to that. You're going to see people who don't enjoy your boundaries, your growth, your whatever. You're going to be like, actually, you're not for me. You're not for me. So why would I care what you think?
You want to box me in. You want to compartmentalize. You're too like weak-egoed and stupid to see that I've evolved because, oh, it's because you're not evolving. Oh, that's why, because you're not evolving. So you cannot bear the fact that anyone else is. I got it. It might take a rebrand, not just of yourself, but of your social circle, of your surroundings. You might have to stop going to the same bars. You might have to stop hanging out with the same people. It's tough, but you are creating something from the ground up. You are remaking yourself. When we think about renovating a house, remaking a house, we understand it's going to get messy. Some things are going to have to get thrown away. You want to make an omelet? You got to break a few eggs. That's okay, because it's in service of something larger that you want. And you can let people know that that's the deal. If it's like, oh my gosh, she's the girl who would like chug 3 beers at the bar. Like, come on, Caitlin, chug. You have every right to say, I don't do that anymore. Come on, Beth, come on, do it. Show us your tits, you do it every week. You'd be like, well, I don't anymore, Jesse. It's like, oh, boo, boo. Again, who hates your boundaries? Who hates your standards? Weed these people out, smoke them out, being like, oh, okay. So Jesse sees me as a party trick. He sees me as a little monkey in clothes. He sees me as a fucking clown. That's not someone I need to work to please. Thank you, Jesse, for revealing your bullshit. I appreciate that. You have the right at any point in your life to change and to let people know, hey, I'm changing. You know what? I don't like being called Slutty Shallon anymore. I was slutty at one point and it was fun and I've learned from it, but you know, I'm rebranding. You can make it lighthearted. Be like, it's a rebrand, midweek rebrand. I don't like to be seen like that anymore. Quality people are going to be like, good for you, girl. I like that. People who are for you, who love you, they're going to be like, dude, we've been waiting for this, man. We've been waiting for you to stop pulling your tits out at the bar. We've been waiting for you to be like, don't squirt ketchup on me. They've been waiting for that. They're cheering you on. They're ready. They've been ready. And the people, again, who don't, weed them out. When you can exact this change within and then put it into action, like not laughing at the jokes that are at your expense that aren't funny, not accepting DMs instead of texts and phone calls, not being cool with you can come over. No. When you can make no not only one of your favorite words, but a complete sentence, when you can put a period instead of a question mark at the end of your statements, we should go out. Period. Not, we should go out? Question mark? Nope. I'll let you take me out. Period. I'll let you take me out. If you want to, I don't know. Question mark. Nope. When you stand in the light of your standards, it feels good. It just feels like, it feels like power. It feels like power. And power is the opposite of chaos. Power is order. Power is control. And that's not chaos. And power translates to restfulness in a relationship. It translates to magnetism in a relationship. Alphas want to be around another powerful person because it's restful for them. An eagle can sleep easy next to another eagle. And a pigeon can cozy up to a garbagey other pigeon if they want to, all covered in fucking mustard. So look at how you've been living. Look at why you've been living this way, how you think that served you, and dismantle that, because that's a myth. Well, if I'm not chill, if I put up a boundary, people are going to leave. Who told you that? Is that just what you think? Is that what guys have terrorized you into thinking? Is that what society tells you? Is that what your mom has told you? You need to go with the flow. You're being high maintenance. You want too much. Don't listen to any of those people. You listen to me. You listen to me. And you listen to the Shallontrage, and you listen to other alpha women in your life or in celebrity or wherever. And you listen to how they live and how they move through life, the standards they set, what they will and will not permit and therefore promote. Once you get it right inside, it's easy to enact and deploy in the rest of your life. I want to know what you think about Miley and Cody. Is that like the harshest burn to be like, she was a phase? Ooh, I'd want to hear it. But do you think Miley's ever going to grow out of this? Like, isn't she like hooking up with Youngblood now? It makes no sense, and yet it makes all the sense, right? That makes all the sense in the world. Miley and Youngblood. Let me know what you guys think. We will see you next time, and be sure to click the link in the bio to join me in Tulum. I'll see you later, Shalligators.